over the hump against the Golden State Warriors. This is going to be a great Golden State Warriors team. Andrew Wiggins playing a much better role, and I think a lot better job than Harrison Barnes did when he was in that 2015 team. And that's kind of what I view this Warriors team as, is that 2015 Golden State Warriors team, just with a little bit better pieces around them.
Yeah, I think they're great. I think Andrew Wiggins is the key. He's kind of like our Robert Williams. If he's not going, they don't have a shot. The main thing I have with Golden State is if they're able to get him going, because if he's not averaging 20, I don't think they're going to win this series against us. Because I think Steph and Clay are going to have a very difficult time with Smart and Derek White chasing them around off that 3 point line. So I think it's going to be a lot of cuts. They like to cut in and out, but I think we're well aware of that. And I think if Robert Williams is good to go, I think we have the length for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to come down to Andrew Wiggins. And people say Jordan Poole, but Jordan Poole to me is only really great at home. If it's not in Golden State, it seems like he doesn't show up. So I'm not too worried about him. But he could get hot. Who knows? But I'm
Yeah.
not putting faith on it. The Golden State Warriors haven't really played a great defensively team. They played a lot of depleted teams. So this is a real test on the defensive side. Phoenix to me really isn't a great defensive team. They kind of like took their foot off the gas pedal. So I think this is a real big test for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to struggle against us. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's going to be a series that I think we end up winning in six. The only thing that I would say for me is figuring out what type of defense will the Warriors run. Of course, they famously ran that. I believe it was the 2-1-2 zone against Luca. And I'm just curious to see what they're going to run today. I mean, like I talked about in my previous stream, I'll upload that one later on today or for tomorrow. The Miami Heat did a great job, and I think you noticed it too in Game Six, Tyrese. Is that when we drove in with Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum, whenever because
It was clogged.
they studied our film, it was clogged. They were clogging the lanes up, and as soon as they went to that spin move, the guy back tapped him from behind and got that steal, and that's why Victor Oladipo had like almost 9 steals in
Yeah,
that game.
they were closing off the end really quick. They were sealing very quick, and that's something to go back to what you were saying. That's something Golden State they did that too. They did that too against Dallas, but Dallas is not us. Kevon Looney is going to have to come out because of Al Horford now. So that's going to be easy for Jalen Brown to get to the rack a lot. I
Yeah.
think the Jays are going to feast a lot. This might be the easiest they're able to get to the basket because Kevon Looney, he's not no Bam Adebayo where he's a great shot blocker and he has
Mm-hmm.
agility and he can move the
Yeah.
ball up the court. So I have a good feeling, man. Like I think we have their number. I think we have their number, and I know it's the regular season, but every time we play them, it seems like we have their number. Dating back to the Isaiah Thomas stuff, like we always have a center that can come out. They never had a center that can come out and stretch the floor, so that's going to
Yeah.
open the paint up a lot. And I think Tatum's going to be going crazy, man, and Jalen. I think they're both going to be having feet. I think they're both going to be feasting.
Yeah. I think that this is going to be a definite game where I think that legacies will be made here. I think that Jason Tatum will finally get that illustrious, I would say, Finals MVP, NBA Finals, and kind of start the Celtics off in the right way. I was on this channel talking 4 or 5 years ago, actually
Mhm.
maybe longer than that, maybe six. That's how long it's been. Making this channel, and just remembering all the times where I talked about this being an oven baked process when we had Kyrie Irving and we had Gordon Hayward and we had Al Horford. And I think it just kind of goes to show you that the missing piece for us this last couple of years was Al Horford. I think Al Horford did a great job of really stretching the floor out, and did a good job of defensively being able to compete with some of their forwards. Like I think that maybe I think Andrew Wiggins might be a little bit of a hard task when you get switched on to him and you have to guard him.
Mhm.
But I think
Yeah.
guarding like Clay Thompson, I think won't be an issue for Al Horford and won't be a liability. Whereas I think on the opposite end, I do think that having both Clay Thompson, uh, Steph Curry, and Jordan Poole out there could be defensive liabilities for the Boston Celtics, and it's going to be on them, I think, to just kind of junk it up at times where they would just kind of try to force, try to get the ball into other guys' hands, and I could see them trying to take some defensive plays off the playbook from the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I can see that too. I just think Wiggins is going to struggle. I just have this feeling because he likes to try to go to back people down into the paint like he did against that. He's not going to be able to do that against Warford because he's 6'10". If Robert Williams is there, he's going to have to shoot over him, right? If he's trying to bag down in his spot at the elbow, he's not going to be able to get that all day. He's
Yeah.
not just going to be able to bully down. That's not going to happen. So if you're chasing those two guys off the 3-point line to where they have to get twos and try to cut, it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
It's going to be very tough for them. So I'm very excited to see this. Um, you know, the only how they can really beat us, I think, is if we're not defending the three. If
Yeah.
we're not defending the three good, how we were kind of getting sloppy with Max Struess, and you know, then it can get ugly. But if we're playing great defense on that three, I think we got him in 6, man. I think we got it. But who knows, if Rob's not there, it can get dicey because then that's when Andrew Wiggins is going to be able to feast. That's when Steph's going to be able to get to the rack. That's when Clay's going to, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be able
Yeah.
to go back door and not worry. It's going to be a problem if he's not going to go. I'm very concerned about his health right now. So, we have a week off, a week or a little less than a week. So,
Yeah.
hopefully he can try to get to at least 60% or something because we need him bad. And I was saying to you that he needs to play in this game because Bam Adebayo was just feasting, with his little jump shots and just bank
Yeah.
shots. Like he wasn't hitting high percentage shots when Rob was out there, So they don't have Kevon Looney's not like that. I'm just saying, like, we need him out there to deflect shots and run those guys
Yeah.
off the three.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how our off-ball movement's going to be in terms of defensively, especially with the Warriors running a lot of off-ball stuff, doing a really good job of moving the rock, of moving themselves. And I talked about this before, is that with the movement that the Warriors have, it is fun to watch. And they are a frustrating team just in the fact that
Yeah.
they can have an annoying fan base, but at the same time, the way that they play is stuff that you coaches like myself, love to see because of the
Mm-hmm.
way that they run the offense. So, that being said, my question for the series is going to be how do the Celtics defend those off ball movements? And that's something that I'm curious to find out in game one when we watch this is how they are going to defend it. And also, what type of ball screen
Yeah.
coverage are they going to run for Steph Curry? Are they going to run more of an ice ball coverage where they try to reject the screen or have the person not take the screen, but rather force them away from the screen and kind of just have the
Well,
big sagging down? Or are they going to soft hedge and try to get a
well,
little bit more recovery?
Well, yeah, that's very interesting, like the off the ball stuff. But I just think with Marcus Smart and his defensive presence, he's defensive player, and the guys are flopping now. So if Draymond is doing screens, he might do too many illegal screens if they're trying to just go to the off the ball stuff. You get what I'm saying? He might be getting in foul trouble because Marcus Smart's going to start. He's going to flop.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So they're going to have to go to a new strategy to off that ball stuff isn't going to work as much because you don't want to get Draymond in trouble because you don't have Iguodala out there no more to push the ball in transition and to, assist guys and backdoor cuts. He's not out there. So if he has 3 fouls in the first half, you're going to be sitting him in the early in the fourth, most likely, right? So, that off the ball stuff, I don't think it's going to be so successful because Marcus Smart's going to be running his ass around and being a pest, and Derek White too. So, I
Yeah.
think I think they're going to get away from. I think they know. I think they know we know they're going to be doing that a lot. So I think they're going to change their game plan up game one. I think they're going to try to get Wiggins going early and try to build off of him because if he's not going early and the Splash Bros aren't going early, it's not looking good.
Yeah. I think
So
for me,
well,
what I'm gonna really be paying attention to, is if we're gonna defend them like we did the Nets in game in the first round series that we had with them, because I think like if you can really be physical with them the way that
oh yeah,
Miami and Milwaukee were physical with us, And the Warriors are not a physical team. Like they're a team that
No.
that does a really good, does really great sets, really good off ball movement, and that's how they get you every
Mhm.
time. And so for the Celtics to be successful, I think they need to be just as physical in the first round as they will be this series, because that's the way that we're going to win this game, is just being physical and being able to kind of withstand the Golden State Warriors moving forward. Again, I think that we can do a good job of that. The question
Uh-huh.
for me is like, are the guys healthy? Marcus Smart coming off that ankle injury, and of course
Mhm.
Robert Williams with the knee injury. Like that's just a really tough one for me. Um, Not saying it's not impossible, but I do think that it could be probable. And the question for me also for the Celtics is, do you go to that 3-man rotation that you had here today? And it was a 2-man rotation because Peyton Pritchard only played 2 minutes. And so I think that this is going to be one of those situations where I kind of monitor and see what does Emi Udoka do on the bench in terms of, does he bring a lot of guys to come off of it, or does he kind of make the bench rotation small and like make it maybe really 2 to 3 guys?
Yeah, that's interesting to see. I think he's going to get Peyton Pritchard involved because this is going to be a high scoring series of the games. It could be low scoring, but I just think, it's either going to be Steph or Clay that's getting it going to where it's going to probably be a shootout because we're going to be trading baskets. So
Mm-hmm.
so I think I think we're going to go with that 3-man rotation that we kind of had. Um, I don't know, man. Like it's getting tricky because it's like if 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 Clay is going crazy and he's doing off the dribble stuff, that somebody else is going to be going too. So it's kind of like, are the Jays going to be able to keep up with that?
Yeah.
Because if they're both not going, we're not winning these games. It can't be just Tatum and Brown has 15. Horford has 7. Like all our guys, all our starting five, they got to be in double figures. If all of our starting five, I wouldn't say Robert Williams, but Al Horford needs at least 10 points. Derek White needs at least 10. Smart needs at least 10 to 15. Tatum and Brown need at least 25 plus, if not more. You get what I'm saying? So it all comes down to also, can we score the basket? Because we're good defensively, but I seen we were getting in a lot of scoring droughts too. So I'm curious to see how we are on that end. But defensively, I think we'll be good. Hopefully, if our guys are healthy to go. But like I said, man, this is going to be an exciting series, and it kind of could just go either way. It's a 50-50.
Yeah.
But I kind of lean our way just because we have the defense. And like you said, the Warriors are not physical. Steph Curry doesn't like physicality. You've seen when we played him when he got hurt, they got mad because Marcus Smart was diving for the ball. Like, we're a physical team when we play them every time. So I don't think they're going to be up for the challenge on that end. So we have them beat on hustle, and I think defensively. So they're a great offensive team. That's the only reason why they have a shot. You get what I'm saying? But if they're not making nothing, they're done.
Yeah.
They're done. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be a fun series. I'm also curious to see them as well defensively, especially with them having such a different style. Like I talked about, maybe they take it from the Warriors play, or sorry, from the Heat playbook, or maybe they do their own playbook. I know that Draymond Green is kind of like the center, the safety for them. And so I'd be curious to see like what his role will be defensively, as kind of like the roamer, kind of the guy that points guys to get them going everywhere. And so I'm curious to see what his role will be for the Golden State
His
Warriors.
role is going to, yeah, sorry to cut you off. His role most likely is going to be just to distribute, try to get those screens up top and try to find Jordan Poole and Wiggins underneath the basket, drive every night. You know what I'm saying? His usual go to. I don't think they're really going to change nothing up to their identity because it's been working. So
Mm-hmm.
Steve Kerr is the type to where if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I
Yeah.
think we're a team to where you're going to have to try to throw in a wrinkle or two because our defensive presence is just too good, especially if Robert Williams is out there to play. Draymond's going to struggle uh, getting to the cup.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. This is going to be very interesting. So
Yeah.
um, I just hope our guys are good to go, man, because I know they're not. Everyone's banged up, but you know, it's going to be interesting because the Warriors on those screens, you might run into a brick wall like Kevon Looney, and Smart might hurt his knee, or Robert Williams might get hurt again, and then we're done. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's going to be physical. So I'm excited though.
Yeah. It
They're
should
not
be.
they're not physical as a whole team. I'm just saying like Draymond and Kevon Looney, those guys up top setting those screens can get Robert Williams and Smart hurt. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. And again, like I said, I have the Celtics in 6. I think it has to be in
Yeah.
6, or otherwise, I think we're gonna lose this series. If it does go 7, just for the fact that I think home court advantage is kind of proven to show like how much it matters. Again, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, does home court really matter?" But since we've been away from the
It
pandemic,
doesn't to me.
I think it does, man. Like
You
I
think
think
so?
the way that the crowds can get into games now, I feel like there's a lot more energy, a lot more. The atmosphere is a lot denser. I feel like, and I noticed it in a couple of games, whether it was the Champions League final in soccer that happened the other night, whether it was the Celtics, or whether it was the Golden State Warriors these last couple of years. Again, I think that
I
it matters more, man. Like this to me, like the fact that the fans have been away from sports these last
mhm.
couple of years was a huge factor for the Golden State Warriors winning their games in the way that they did, going crazy for Steph and Clay,
Mhm.
when they're kicking Luca's butt, and especially that I know that dunk happened in Dallas, but
Yeah.
it was still a good dunk, and I think that their Golden State Warriors fans that were there in Dallas obviously kind
Oh
of
yeah.
affected them as well.
Yeah, I think it honestly doesn't matter as much, man, because you've seen how we were. We blew 2 games at home. And last year with Phoenix, when they played the Bucks, they blew games at home. It seems like teams where their backs are against the wall or they're the more hungrier team, they went on. To me, it doesn't really matter, man. Like the series starts with a win on the road. That's what they say. If we could win a game in Golden State on the road, game one, we got a good shot of winning. But if we lose both games, you get what, or if Golden State loses one game, they're done because the odds for us to win that series if we still game one are high.
Yeah.
So I disagree, but it could help for sure. Like in the finals, yeah, but it's not everything. I don't think, um, because we clearly seen it with us. We blew 2 games, so and we won both in Miami. So it just comes down to the hungrier team because that team at home can get butterflies and get their hands can get sweaty and you know where the away team they got a chip on their shoulder. They got no one there, so it could go both ways.
Yeah, I think the way that it's going to go down for me is I think we're going to lose game 1, we're going to win game 2, win both of our games at home. Uh, so would that's 4 games there.
I think we're going to win game one. I think I think we're going to win game one by a big margin because I don't think they're accustomed to, they haven't played anybody of our defensive caliber. And then it seems like for some reason when Jaylen Brown comes back to the Bay, he went to Cal Berkeley. He loves to show out. He loves to show out. Every time we play them, he's always putting on a show and he's making it. He's not doing nothing crazy. If he's doing that and he gets 20 in the first half, it's not looking good for him. And I have a feeling he will be doing that game one because he's returning back to the Bay. I could be wrong, but I just don't see him going back to where he went to college and everything. He always puts on a show every time he goes there, man. I'm telling you. I think he's gonna drop 20 in the first half, game one, and I think we're gonna blow him out. Game
Yeah.
two, I think it can go either way. It's gonna be close, but I think Golden State's gonna win it. And then in game three, I think Golden State's gonna win that game, and then we're gonna win that fourth game. And then yeah, it could get tricky from there. You get what I'm saying? We could probably. I think we're going to win the next two because I think we're going to be accustomed to what they're doing. But then again, I don't know because it comes down to how healthy Smart and Robert Williams is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think we're going to win game one by a big margin. I just have a feeling.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the opposite. Like I said, I think game 1, I think the Warriors are going to do a good job of adjusting to what they want to do defensively towards us, and I think that it's going to frustrate. I think it's really going to frustrate us. That being Tatum and Brown. And then in game 2, I think that's where we make the adjustments and we start moving the ball a little bit more. And I think that's when we start seeing like a lot of passes to like, and I think we're gonna get like a really good Grant Williams game in one of these games. And I think
I
to me it's gonna be game two where he's just gonna hit some corner threes like he did uh, in the net series. And I think that's where it's really gonna happen for us. And then I think we're just gonna win game three, game four. So
If
that's
you look at it, Bernie,
and then we win game
who
six.
who can really guard Jalen Brown on that game? I mean, on the Warriors, like who could really guard Jason Tatum 1-on-1? Clay can't guard him. He's not the same Clay from 6 years ago. You get what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be slashing to the basket. And Looney, if he wants to try to come and help, we're gonna kick it out to Grant. You get what I'm saying? Or Tatum, they're not gonna be able to sustain Tatum. That's why I think we're gonna bully their ass game more. I really do. I don't think I'm gonna be wrong on this one. I think we're gonna bully them, dude, because they don't really have no one that could really guard the Jays besides Wiggins. And he's decent, but he can't sustain it. Well,
I think
Curry?
I think they're gonna use Kaminga in this game more. I think they're
He
gonna
has no
have.
experience though. If he goes against JT, he's gonna be fouling like crazy, dude. Like there's no one that could really guard him besides if Iguodala was healthy, but he has no legs.
I don't know. I think offensively they're gonna have our number in game one. I think that they shoot the ball well. They do a lot of off ball stuff. I mean, you got to respect the off ball stuff. I know you think that we can stop it. I think a
Oh,
lot of
they're
people.
gonna get theirs. They're gonna get theirs, but I just don't think they're gonna be able to sustain it for 4 quarters. That's what I think. Because we're gonna have two guys that can get to the hole, guys that can't stop. We're gonna have guys in the corner like Grant Williams, Al Horford up top in the corner because the Jays are gonna be drawing a lot of attention when Jason's bringing that thing up the court. They're they're going to be. They already know they're going to be trying to build a wall for Tatum because they know he can do floaters, he can kick it out, or Brown will put his head down, or he could kick it out. We have just too many weapons, I think, and I think the Warriors are going to get frustrated because they haven't played a team like us. You know, Luka was good, but Luka, you can't just win with one guy. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? And we got too many shooters. They're a great off the ball team. Don't get me wrong; they're going to get theirs, but I just think game one they're not going to be shooting the lights out for 4 quarters
Yeah.
because this is in Dallas.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I think this will be a fun series. I think that this is going to be one of those series where I think both teams are going to play their butts off, and I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be. I know you said you had a blowout in game one. I think it's going to be close the whole way through,
Really,
because I think both coaches are very good chess match coaches. I think both of them love the kind of strategic moves that they're going to do, and I think that this is going to be a fun series, man. I
I
really
think
think.
this is Steph Curry's worst nightmare. Their base case scenario was Miami, dude. Curry knows he's not going to be able to do all that shit in Clay. Well, Clay not really because he hasn't really played against us in a long time. But Draymond knows this is going to be a battle for them because all that stuff they were doing against Dallas, it's not going to work, and they're going to have to try to figure out something. Who the hell are we going to bring out on Al Horford up top? And who knows? We might pull Tice out. We might pull Tice out to where he might be in the game with Al Horford. Now we got two bigs who can stretch the floor instead of Rob Williams. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just don't think I trust
So
Theis out there. I think Theis is a
no,
liability.
I know that, but he's no slouch. Like he can hit some threes. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because every point is important. And him being up top of the key, you're not going to leave him open. All for if he plays 20 minutes, you're not going to leave him open. You're going to
Yeah.
have Kevon Looney or Kaminga come out. So that's going to open up the basket. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
He
don't
doesn't
know.
necessarily have to shoot, but I'm just saying,
I
like
don't. I just think
him
there's
as
a
a
reason. I think there's a reason why Theis has not played a lot of games or a lot of minutes. But I just
well,
think that.
I think it's because of the matchup, right? He can't really defend Bam Adebayo, and Bam Adebayo can come out. He's not. He has good agility and mobility, so there's no need to throw Tice out there. But Kevon Looney, he has no mobility. He can't keep up with Tice. He's slower. You get what I'm saying? He can't. That's the reason why Tice wasn't out there like that because there's no need to put Tice out there because Bam can come out. He can bring the ball up the court. Kevon Looney can't do that. Yeah, he does it sometimes, but this isn't the time for it. So who knows? We could throw him out there for a wrinkle. I just think they're gonna struggle, man. I honestly do. I understand what you're saying. Like, yeah, they're at home, but that shit doesn't matter, man. Like if they're not making the basket, and they're not playing defense, it's going to get ugly, and I think it is. So that's my opinion though.
Yeah, we'll find out, man. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a fun one. I think that both teams are gonna do a lot of chess match stuff, and I think at the end of the day, I think we're both gonna be right here. We're gonna both gonna be celebrating game six when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
championship ceremony is in Boston, and the Larry O'Brien Trophy comes back, and we rightfully claim our top spot for most championships
Man,
for an
I
NBA
can't
team.
wait. I can't wait for the parade.
Yeah.
That's
But again,
man.
this is going to
Yeah.
come down to the players. Like I talked about in my first video, Cup the Legend said it right. We
Mhm.
can't be happy that we're here. We can't be happy that we made the finals and
Oh,
are like, gee whiz, we did it. We finally got to the mountaintop. We're not at the mountaintop yet. We are almost there. We are about a couple inches away from getting there, and so
yeah.
I'm
Four
hoping
games.
I'm hoping that these guys are ready to battle. I'm hoping that they're ready to go against Draymond Green. Watch out for the kicking. Watch out for the scratching. I think Jason over under 5 scratches for our players.
The only thing I have with Jason, you kind of said his name a little bit, is I hope he can keep his composure, man, because he was getting ticked off with one foul, man. Like he can't be doing that in this
Yeah,
finals, man. He needs to keep his composure.
yeah.
Um,
And I think the scratching from Draymond Green is going to be huge.
you said the
It's
scratching.
the scratching, man. He's going to scratch. You already know he's gonna. I mean, he's just scratching everybody. You already know that he's going to scratch Tatum or Brown. I just think that both of them are going to have like a mark. You know,
Nah,
Jokic.
yeah, he's always scratching out there. You're right though, because I do remember Brown always or Tatum. I think we played him a couple games. He has these it's like like marks on his body. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Hopefully, the NBA will have a nail clipping policy where you have to have your nails shortened. But we'll find
It
out.
yeah.
We'll
It's gonna
find
be a
out.
fun show though, man. It's gonna be fun. I think it's this is something I think this is the best final since 2016, like since the Warriors and the Cavs before they had KD. I think it's to that level. Um, like the Cavs were obviously a great defensively team, and the Warriors are just an offensive juggernaut. And
Yeah,
it came down to the wire. And I think we're way better than the Cavs were defensively.
yeah,
But it's gonna be a good one.
yeah. I think we're gonna do the same strategy that the Cavs did in 16. And
Oh,
I think,
really? Yeah, interesting.
well, I mean, they just kind of they roughed up Curry every time you do his off ball stuff, and I think that that's something that
Yeah,
you have
Curry.
to, that's something you have to do in order to get Curry, and Poole and Clay to get them off their rhythms. You have to kind of do that stuff, and you get called for a foul. You get called for a foul. You just have to kind of keep doing it until the refs kind of are like, yeah, we're gonna call it every time, and then that's where you kind of maybe stop doing it. But we'll find out. It'll be fun. It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah. It will be fun. I just think Curry. He's soft, man. I think he's gonna struggle hard. I think Clay's gonna have to really try to come in and save the day because we've seen this every time we play them in the regular season, right? Like every time we play them, Steph always is getting shut down. Marcus Smart's always on his tail. And that's going to be the same case this time, but except we're going to have Derek White as well. So I think we're going to shut him down. I don't think he's going to be scoring 25 points in the first half or 40 points. Like, that's not going to happen. Clay's going to have to really step up. If Clay's not stepping up and averaging 25 to 30 points per game this series, they're done. They might even go home in five.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see here. So they
So
won 119-104. So we won the last matchup 110 to 88. I think this is probably a game where I think Steph
try to
Curry
look
was.
back at the data that we played when Clay was there. If I'm not mistaken, we beat them a few times when Isaiah Thomas was there when they had Clay. I think even when they had KD. So, like I say, we're way better now than we were then. We're way more mature. So I think they know, like, damn, I wish we could have got Miami. Draymond knew they were going to get us, but I think for Steph and Clay, especially Clay, because he hasn't played at a high level a defense like this in a long time.
Mhm.
So he's going to be getting roughed up. He's not used to that. So yeah, man, we were always up there with them, even when Jalen and Jason were puppies, man. Like they were going at KD heavy, like guarding the hell out of him and all of them.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be fine. The main thing with us is just health. I think everyone's banged up, but I think if they can just give at least half of what they got, I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
So
We'll find out. But with that being said, I think that's gonna do it here for the charge. I think we'll come back another day, maybe hopefully tomorrow. Just have to
okay,
work
yeah,
out some stuff, and then we can talk a little bit more about things that are going on in the NBA world, and talk about maybe some trade rumors that are happening.
yeah, we can definitely talk about that because the draft is coming up. So and also that. So yeah, we could talk about stuff like that. I'm open to it.
All right, sweet. But anyway, guys, thank you again for joining us for the other stream that happened. Again, I will upload that video and talk a little bit more about the game style and the reason why we won that game, and the analytics and all that stuff is all on that video, and I will put it out there a little bit later. But for this video, this is kind of our NBA Finals preview, finding out who we like, who we think will win this series. Of course, both Tyrese and I, Celtics fans, we're going to be a little bit of homers, and we're going to go with the Celtics W. But I do
Mhm.
think it's going to be a fun series. But with that being said, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Remember, the more likes and the more subscribing, the more that this channel can grow and develop into something special and into something that you can really build a community on. And that's what I'm really about, is community. And I'm hoping to kind of
Mhm.
continue that community as we continue to grow this channel to something even beyond what it's at right now. But in order to do that, we need to get to 1,000 subscribers. So let's get there by the end of this year. Hopefully, we can do that by then. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie and Tyrese. Again, thank you for joining me
Peace
here on the
out.
channel. Appreciate you joining, and we'll catch everybody on the next episode. Peace out, everybody.